I didn't know Arundhati Roy, the writer of The God of Small Things and prominent leftist in India, and John Cusack, John Cusack of 2012 and High Fidelity, have a book together, which also features Edward Snowden and David Ellsberg. Snowden, obviously everyone knows. Ellsberg is the guy who released the Pentagon Papers around, I believe, the Vietnam War. And I was like, what? Okay, so this book is less sort of like a novel or even a non-fiction book. It is a collection of essays and interviews between Cusack, Roy, and also Ellsberg and Snowden, and it's just like, what? So this book is titled Things That Cannot Be Said. One, I didn't realise John Cusack was based. So good for John Cusack. And me for learning that. I will watch a John Cusack movie at some point in the coming week for that. But this book really does cover very much leftist ideology. It is a conversation between Cusack and Roy for the most part, with also 2 essays from Roy, which is great because Roy is a fantastic writer. And if you haven't read a book by Roy, I highly recommend The God of Small Things, although that book does come with multiple trigger warnings, just to say the least. But it is also really good that Roy is very candid in this about her beliefs, her ideology. It got me thinking, and whilst I was thinking, it's like, wow, I really actually line up with Roy, which for me is lovely because she is from Kerala, India, and I'm half Keralan. So for me, that's like, oh my god, I'm this author, I understand why I connect with her a little bit. But also, I do commend Cusack for his ability to interview. Obviously, it's a book, so it is editorialized far more so than maybe a live interview would be. But Cusack does, or at least, these are meant to be his transcripts that have been edited down a little bit. He does do a really good job of teasing out more from Roy and more from Snowden and Ellsberg. He does do a very good job of that, which I really appreciate, because sometimes you find in books that are meant to be conversations between writers and the subject, sometimes the interviewer / writer does really insert themselves a little bit more into the conversation, whereas this, it is really Cusack trying to get as much as he can out of Roy and Snowden and Ellsberg, which is, again, kudos for John Cusack for being incredibly based. Somewhat based. He's not as based as Roy. But I just had to share this book because I don't know how many people know of this book. Again, Things That Cannot Be Said. This was in my library. Libraries are so cool. I love libraries. I might buy actually a physical copy of this because I wanted to annotate this, but obviously I can't annotate a library copy. But oh my god, based Cusack. I just can't get over the fact that it's John Cusack. Like, if it was, I don't know, Ilan Pape or the other guy, Noam Chomsky, if it was them, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense, They're very highly intellectual folks who are very good interviewers and very good interviews. But it's John Cusack, and John Cusack is the one that contacts Roy, because it's basically him saying his conversations with Roy and how he got Roy, Ellsberg, and Snowden all in one room together so they can have a discussion about the Pentagon Papers, about the NSA, about the US, about Russia. It's like, about India as well. I'm like, why? What the heck, dude? John Cusack pulled this off? John Cusack of High Fidelity pulled this off? Based Cusack. But no, I mean, this is, again, it's just me gushing, because this is, you might not agree with everything in this book. I understand a lot of people will not agree with what is said in this book. But still, the fact that it's Cusack, Roy, Ellsberg, and Snowden all together, and it is a note, I mentioned Ellsberg and Snowden, it is primarily Roy that Cusack is talking to, and some of the writing is by Roy, obviously. But yeah, I pick up this book. Please read Things That Cannot Be Said by Arundhati Roy and John Based Cusack. thank you for watching. Let me know if you're going to read this or if you have read it. Like, subscribe, share. I'm just so blown away. And read a great book today. And watch a John Cusack movie.